this one. Then edit. We want it to be members only. All members. We're here. Is here, and then I want this. Come here to Discord. And then come here to announcements. Yo. Nice announcement. Back to okay. All right. I want to put this here. This comes back. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just fishbowling.
Pony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Dude, Science Bros is so good in there.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I feel comfortable playing Electric Moth now, because I didn't care about playing it in air before. And like now, like when you bing bong on them, they're not for 4, and that's the worst part of that fucking card.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can get down with this now. It makes me really want to play 4 Irrefutable or whatever, or Incompatible. I haven't done it yet, but I'm pretty close.
You're on 3?
Yeah. And like I just fishbowled 3 games and I didn't find it at all in like the first 2 turns, and I was like, damn, like not as good.
Hey, I think it's a 3 of the Mikasa list that we're gonna look at tonight, and I didn't see it either. I was like, man, this is supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
For like it's the defense. Anywho, you want to get it rocking?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever.
Oh yeah. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Top 8 Draft Recap Podcast for Season 1. I'm Tam, this is Barrett. For anybody who is new, what we do is every week we draft 8 fresh new characters for both of us. I get 8, Barrett gets 8, and then we take 4 of those characters and we play them off into a Top 8 bracket, which you will see here in just a little bit. This is week 3 of the event. We took last week off due to some scheduling stuff, but all in all,
I was sick.
Yeah, all in all, 3 weeks in, how are you feeling, man?
Man, can I be honest?
Yeah.
I want new characters. I'm already like we've already like picked the cream of the crop of like what we like from Critical Role.
Yeah.
And I'm already ready to get like new characters, you know. That's where I'm at. And like that has nothing to do, but like I'm not looking forward to drafting at the end of this because I just don't know what I want. Like I have no idea.
That's fair. I mean, we had an extra week. So I like made my decks and I came up with a bit of a plan for the draft. So we'll get there too. At the same time, like I do think that there is true diamonds in the rough that are still yet to be discovered. And so I think the only thing that's stopping me from being where you're at is obviously you make and at this point you play way more games than I do because, you know, of your job, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that I used to claim that I was the person who played the most games in the entire world. Like even more than playtest, I was just like jamming games all the time. but
Yeah,
it
but you don't play
was
against community members anymore.
I don't
So
do that. So like I'm sure that you have squeezed this juice per se
yeah, and
pretty
maybe like
heavily.
that's the downside of it, but like maybe to me it's like the Critical Role characters are really really cool, but when we're still only in week 3,
Yeah.
a lot of these top tier characters are still shoving them out of the way, and like I'm not like we will eventually get to them.
Yeah.
And like even like I played Scanlan this week, so like even then he like put up a good performance for
Yeah.
trying to compete with some of the other heavy hitters that are in this top 8 today, but like that one was like still a chance I had to take of like, do I think this is good enough? And I trusted my good friend that built that deck
And you had to
that it
work your
was.
ass off, dude. Like it was not
I did.
it
That
was
deck's
not
that's not easy.
none of the wins were falls in your lap, you know?
Yeah. So like that's what I'm and like you also think like maybe I should be a little bit more excited because we just had a ban list and like the changes did affect or will affect the format in some way, especially in our fake format here.
Yes.
So like if any of these characters that were like being thought of being played because like combined firepower was really good in it, like combined firepower got hit and like I didn't want to build an Irwin Smith deck without that card in it. So I didn't play Irwin Smith this week.
Yeah. Fun fact, I had pulled a Barrett Bryant and I stole the firepower Hanji list and was going to play that. And then I sat down on my computer to get ready and then I went, "Oh, wait. That card does not work in the character in this character anymore." And was like, I don't have time to remake something, so I will. I was not planning on playing Beast Titan this week. I wanted to play Hanji. I was gonna save
like
Beast
we'll
Titan for
even get
next
to it
week.
because like I played Elder today, and so I had to play an Elder list that wasn't playing a Mortal Shapeshifter in it, and so
Yes.
we'll obviously get into it as we talk about those things. So I played like a fun list there instead of trying really really hard to play like a real ass Elder Toguro list.
Yeah.
So as we get into it, like this week to me was a little weird, and maybe that's why I feel the way that I do. But I am already excited. They're already doing spoilers now for Attack on Titan 3 Apocalypse, and like they are very exciting.
No.
I'm getting very excited for them. I like that set a lot, and so like I'm already ready for that. We have to power through these weeks still, obviously.
Totally. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and take a little peek at what the bracket itself is. I don't know why it did this. I want you to be. Why are you not this?
Stream scuffed.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there we go. Here's the top
Cameron
8. We
once
had Mikasa versus Scanlan. We had Reiner versus Sasha. We had Beast Titan versus Elder. We had King Ghidorah versus King of the Monsters Godzilla. Anything in this bracket that stands out to you of like this is going to be a wash? Because I think this bracket is very very cool, and there are a couple outliers of things that like I don't think that I could see in a top 8. But if you told me that Mikasa and Toguro, Ghidorah, Godzilla, Sasha all top cut, I'd be like, that makes sense to me, right? That makes sense.
It randomly happened for us, but what I see is like the top left corner of the bracket is the weirdest section.
Yeah.
Those are the two weirdest ones to me. But everywhere else you look at, bottom left, Chaos AOT characters, We Love Attuned stuff, Herder.
Yeah.
Bottom right-hand side, the strongest power crept challenger deck we've ever seen, having now gotten a card errata from it, like battling out against each other. And then in the top right, without spoiling what the decks do, but like these are two very premier death and life characters is the best way I want to describe it. And you were already on the fence of maybe playing Hanji this week, another death life character that shares that dual symbol operation, being able to do cool things. So those three sections to me make sense. Top left is a little weird and wonky, but that's how it is.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that, man, I really this might have been my favorite week so far, just because of the eclectic nature of like all the different decks that we saw. I think the two decks that were the closest were just the Beast and Elder, which we'll get there. But even then, their use of the backups, I'll just spoil it. The use of the backups is different, and like their win condition is different. And so like it is very cool to see how the game plans of all of these decks are coming in and playing.
And I'll be honest, going into it, like that was the second to last deck that I grabbed for today, and I was just like, I wasn't really feeling it because I didn't want to try hard on Elder, but I didn't want to play Izuku Midoriya on the move and do the same thing,
Yeah.
do some combo thing I wasn't gonna have fun doing, and I didn't want to have to build an Irwin Smith deck without Immortal and combined firepower. So like I was
Yeah.
gonna have to try extra hard, and I just didn't want to jump through those hoops. I knew this deck existed. I pulled it off. I pulled off
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Which it was
we'll,
nice.
We'll
but,
get there. We'll get there.
yeah.
And you don't have enough hand sanitizer in your apartment to even think about playing Jester.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I'm saving that one for
Yeah.
a week that I think
Yeah.
she actually can win.
Fair. Okay, so we're gonna start top left. I've just got this Mikasa list. We'll just pull it up here. Mikasa Ackerman, I've played this list a couple of times on stream on the grind. And so like this is part of the reason that I picked this character this week is because I did have a little bit of familiarity and I knew a direction for the that I wanted to go for the character. The pitch is truthfully Science Bros. In the same way that before the I pressed the record button, you were talking about Pony works really well with all of these if discarded cards like Mikasa's Admission and Feral Shriek and Wish Hard. And Mikasa has an ability to give after I play a thing, I discard it and then go. And so it gives me just a little bit of an extra oomph that this character did not have previously. Essentially, you skip one of the cards being cleared. Instead of things starting at +1 speed, they start at +2 speed, which I think on the second move is really, really relevant to get your cards committed so I can kill you with Walk the Dogs. Alchemical Satchel Toss, Violent Animus Shot are there to be played as the first two moves so that you are forced to interact and block with them. And if you do block with them, I don't care. I clear them, and then my Walk the Dogs, my Sweeping Daggers that copy your really awesome moves, my Bang Bangs that are accidentally as my third move, 6 low for 6 is 4 diffs. That's Walk the Dog stats. This is just Walk the Dog that doesn't draw a bonus card. And get a bunch of extra resources, draw a bunch of extra cards. And then the coolest thing that this deck gets to do is weapons at the ready, enhance, commit, remove 3 cards from your discard pile, add a tech from a discard pile to the top of your deck. So you get to take Violent Animus Shot, or Alchemical Satchel Toss, or Bang Bang, toss it on top of your deck. You hit with a move, you respond Mikasa, you commit Defiant Stance, you redraw it. Combining that with Levi's Relentless Spirit, Sacrifice for the Cause as like a bunch of heavy loaded 3 diffs. I really like this character right now. I think this character just has a bit of she is the definition of a glass cannon that when working as a well-oiled machine is awesome. If you take a grain of rice and you put it into her mechanism, she falls like a house of cards. She's very, very fragile to any amount of disruption or just a little bit of bad luck.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Obviously, she's locked to the weapon keyword now, aside from what the picture says here. I think my biggest thing that I'm like a little disappointed that you're doing. So obviously, full disclosure, this character is not as good as, in my opinion, that what Pony can do with all of this stuff.
Totally.
This is not the same character. This character does get shut out. Like you talked about how like the Bang Bangs and the Violent Animus Shots or the Alchemical Satchel Tots is that you play those early. And the reality is like, if this character gets blocked out early, she is very rough.
Yes.
Very, very rough.
Yeah.
While also still having that Pony energy of I'm very reliant on my checks. Because I also have to turn my foundation sideways to get those draws back. Yeah. That being said, when you pop off, it's good, but like I understand that you were going for like I'm going to play the best 4 diffs that work with this package as best as we can, but like I do think this character with things like Hunter's Ally to build in foundations that synergize with the character, play a couple of ally foundations that work with the kit. You already are playing Science Bros. It builds that one in, like you can find them from your discard pile. There's a world for me that like I think you don't have to just do the 4 diffs and the 3 diffs or whatever that you want to do that are weapons. But I do think I like this build because it's not doing the Lethal Slash thing. Because spoiler alert, Mikasa doesn't synergize with Lethal Slash very well because she wants a card to be in her card pool for you to clear, and Lethal Slash leaves on its own. So like
there's a world where you can play Lethal Slash, but you miss a Mikasa proc and it's gonna clear on its own. Like it doesn't fully synergize, but at the same time, like burn 4 for them, redraw a card. If it hits, you draw a second card. Like it's probably there. Like, there's a world where it exists. I just don't think the 2-check is necessarily worth it
Yeah,
for this
and I
list.
do think I fell in love with this character even post errata, where like high velocity slice in this character was really
Yeah.
really good. But I understand that you were focusing a lot more on the 4 diffs, and we got powerful ones like animus shot and sweeping daggers,
Yes.
100%. But like sweeping daggers is relying on what's in your opponent's discard pile, and you really hope that it's something that buffs damage because you're a speed character, so
Yeah.
you're kind of tossing up in the air on that one. All of her moves are for base damage. It's the same Pony problem that that she has, but to me, Pony is seeing and moving so many more cards that Sacrifice for the Cause and also Science Bros feels better in that character.
Yeah.
So because of that, 100% agree with you. Very glass cannon, and if you whiff, you whiff, and that's kind of how I felt today. She ran into a 5-hander in the bracket, and she just couldn't really get there.
Yeah. 500 that has like is like decent enough at defense to
Yeah.
smother her early and be like, I guess he got 30 after me blocking 3 moves, and I look at my hand and I go, I needed to draw 2 cards, right? I need to draw 1 extra card, and maybe we could possibly get there, but I just can't push. With that said, though, I do think a character like this can go, and it could have played in week 1, ran hot, and just beat everybody in the tournament. So if you were looking to just roll the dice and just slam people, Mikasa Ackerman is a totally okay list, and I think this is a totally fine starting point.
And spoiler alert, she was played at the Denver Regional. There were people registered with this character.
Yeah.
People are on her right now.
Yeah. We'll jump down to the other half, which is, speaking of Scanlan, I'll find him eventually. Scanlan short halt. Devious Troubadour. This is not your list as per normal.
No, this is shout outs to Jacob Johnson, one of my locals and a good friend of mine. This is his deck, and it's the list I believe that he ran at Denver, and I believe we saw him on stream for sure. You got to commentate that match with Bromley, and unfortunate scenario where he got turn 2'd by the turn 2 guy, Caden. But even me playing against Aggro today, this has real good defense. And I would say personally, and I'll own up to it, I didn't pilot the deck as well as I think Jacob Johnson could, because this deck has a very high learning curve.
Yeah.
Because it's very much like what I would agree with you, an underestimated character that really is unlocked with a lot of the cards that he works with. It wasn't until like later into the bracket that I was like, oh, I can just loop referee juries. This is really good, like, oh, I can loop Scanlan's hand to have it every single turn to give -3 to everything while chain blocking. And I was so trying to figure out the unlocking the kill potential of the deck that I was very much like I was relying on things like juries and carnival barkers for my only defense.
Yeah.
And so like it's hard. This character's not easy. I will say he was a blast to play. So even if you're not winning, he's so fun. Kevin Broberg's per minute are crazy because of how many face downs you're building, and you pick them up and then you stack them on top of Carnival Barker and you go Scanlan, reveal it to your opponent, and you're like, I'm gonna fuck you as I pick up this action from my discard pile. You're like, oh my god, it's so cool. But he's not easy. But it's a cool deck.
Yeah, it is. It is a very, very neat deck. The amount of momentum that you generate, and then like every move can accidentally be a kill move with I would like to rage sitting in the card pool. So like if you mess up at all, I would like to rage will just kill you. And I think that is so cool.
Yeah, Determined Advance being a fury move means that I would like to rage gives it powerful 3.
Yeah.
So it has EX3 already, and then you can give it powerful 3, and it's already protected from being like fully reset. Very good synergy there. We were talking about it a little bit after the bracket part before we went live here on the podcast. I think there's a world where this deck works without the 2-check. I ran into the 2-check multiple times today, and as a 5-hander, even through the turbo building that he does, can be quite rough. And you want to play very strong 3-diffs like Strategic Meeting. It was 100% a very good card. So like I wonder if there's just a better Earth kill condition we can do here. Like if the idea was that this was meant to be a stun card, awesome. We could just play like Earthbreakers, and depending on the keywords of Earthbreaker, you can give it powerful by still playing I would like to rage. I don't know if we necessarily need something to pay off on the rage counters, because I would like to rage is good enough alone by giving powerful to a move and redrawing you a card based off of the action. So I just wonder.
I think the biggest thing that I want to see added into the list, and obviously, I mean, this is a tight 60, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah.
Holy cow! Look at these blocks. Excuse me. Um,
It makes sense though. So like, if you go to like, so surprising strength is a tutorable low block when you want it
Yeah.
from your discard pile. All the actions that have mid blocks are tutorable mid blocks.
Yeah.
High blocks are obviously the hardest part. Luckily, even against you, I ran into decks that just weren't playing a lot of high attacks, which is crazy in our format right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need the high blocks, and I had a tutorable low block one. So, but yeah, the block coverage is very Jacob Johnson. He just doesn't care. So
I think that there's a world where some amount of Elvish tutoring would be good in this list.
yeah, for
Enhance,
sure, he
commit,
does get the
flip.
benefit.
Put a thing on top of your deck if you want. Like, put a Grog's Rage, Strategic Meeting, I'll put it to the top of my deck, which means I'm allowed to like play less of them because I can just get them from my deck off of at form speed from Strategic Meeting. Like Hunter's Ally,
Yeah,
and then stack it on top, and then or Hunter's Ally, I will draw it off of number 10 Pro Hero. Like seems okay.
Yeah. I honestly agree with you. I think in conjunction with the speed from Scanlan, the stats that you can get from like on a dime giving powerful or giving EX with your other moves, that like Magic Trap in my opinion is a little overkill.
Yeah.
Granted, it's one of our few high blocks, so I get it, but like I didn't think we needed it ever. And so I think you have some two diff slots that definitely can move around. I would wonder if the forecheck is a reason we avoid it though, because Barker, tarot reading,
Yeah.
like you know, like
Barker,
and like even those
good about
cards aren't
control,
four
right?
ofs, but you know,
Yeah,
it's just like, you know,
these
wanting to
ones, and they
avoid
got
more
referee,
forechecks.
jury, and then the 2 check of for Grog.
Yeah,
Yeah, our checks are
which can just
a
make
little
the
rough.
math a little awkward.
Yeah.
But again, it's a hard deck. It was a ton of fun. If you like Scanlan, I hope I did a good job for you to be at least a little invigorated on how to play this guy, because I agree with you, Tam. When the set comes out, I think this character was very mid, but having watched Jacob play this on stream at Denver, I piloted it myself today to a decent performance, and I still was like not unlocking the full potential of the deck. This deck is incredibly cool, and this character is incredibly fun.
Yeah, coolest list I think we've played in the top 8 so far this whole season. This deck is just neat. Move on to the other half of the bracket. Beast Titan is up next. We'll get there. Beast Titan. This one's mine. Spoilers. This is the deck that I'm going to be taking to a case tournament. I gotta. This is good. Yeah. The entire idea here is every time that a Titan backup enters or leaves your stage, you get to draw some cards, and then now, in addition, with the idea of Gilmore, truthfully, it's just Gilmore.
Yeah.
You now get to like really pass your checks. The fact that Duplicitous Recollection is allowed to build in Gilmore, the fact that Female Titan Attacks is allowed to re-ready Gilmore, pushes this deck a little bit crazier into the realm of I'm allowed to string out some big attacks as a 5-hander. And then the other two big pieces that we have, probably the best foundation in the deck is just a Night's Rest to commit the backups that are bad in the situation that you don't like them. The rank of Titans, the 2 or 3 meteor class Titans, commit those to then re-ready this, which means that I'm allowed to continue to keep playing the Beast Titan attacks, which means that I'm now committing backups to play attacks, which is like push this deck so much further. And then if you happen to get it out, Nymph's Invitation, of just like just break one, 3 damage, which says draw a card off of Beast Titan, which says also Death Rattle triggers. And so like the amount of damage output that this card all by its lonesome has is like so good, to the point where I know we don't have sideboards. This deck has a sideboard because I had to last minute pivot to play this one. I think I'm going to take out the Invincible Body in the sideboard and just put in a 3rd copy of Nymph's Invitation for when I think I gotta kill you. Like, it's time. I'm gonna nuke my whole board. And this card had there's a in the good when I've played against Animus Shot, Nymph's Invitation is like really important on my turn so that you can't destroy my backups, or you can't remove my backups. I'm gonna destroy them, get my draw, get the extra damage. You got to deal with this one that's really big. Yeah, it's just this list is I've curated it a lot. This is not a version 1. This is like a version 4 of what this list is looking like. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on what this list is going on.
I helped a friend of mine take a Caduceus Clay deck to Denver, which was very much on the same idea of like Beast Titan is a character that wants the backups to be coming in and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
The leaving part of that directly synergizes with cards like Death Rattle. So I had a buddy of mine that was like, oh, I'm playing a bunch of backups and I'm just hoarding them. And I go, why? You should do the Death Rattle thing and you should just be about cycling them. And you're like, well, Caduceus really wants you to have a bunch of them in your stage. And I go, no, Caduceus wants you to have 2 of them in your stage, so you're not a you're not a 5-hander.
Yeah.
And if you can just cycle that number of being in that hotspot, in my opinion, Beast Titan has to play a different deck because of all the Titan backups that he wants directly synergizing with.
Correct.
But it means he plays the shift attacks slightly better than Caduceus does. You do the same package, but like the top response on Beast Titan makes those shift attacks incredibly powerful in him. Meanwhile, Caduceus has to wait a little bit longer. So I would say that those two characters side by side, Beast Titan to me is probably the quicker deck in the format right now for having no stats on face, versus I do think Caduceus Clay is a version that can play this deck that is much better in the long con of the game, but that's just not really what the format's looking like, at least with a brand new list plus what people were playing at Denver. If you run into like the non-aggro decks, Caduceus is like probably a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But like to me, Beast Titan is in that same boat of like, I just don't want to get turn 2'd. But once you hit go on turn 3 and turn 4, they're all the same, and it's the same speed, go, and you draw the same amount of cards every single time you do it. You always have the cards on defense, and you don't really care about like managing the size of your foundation base to pass checks because of like what you're talking about of like the backups can help you do it now.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, Beast Titan is much better in the format right now versus characters like Caduceus, whereas Caduceus is probably better if the format goes a little bit longer. So, I think this is a good call.
Dude, Beast Titan
even against Violet,
being able to be looped and, like, looping 8 damage throws is, like, an insane thing to do in any character, let alone a character that says every time that I do this 8 damage throw, I draw a card. I draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Like, it's the so same... strong, man.
So like I remember because in a different version you were still playing like Attack Titan attacks because it's so good in Beast Titan. But like Beast Titan attacks does the same thing. It's just instead of the extra proc of it leaving, you're just selectively picking up a thing.
Yeah.
Like, and this one is 1 difficulty less. This one gains throw. This one has better stats.
This one says that all my other moves are 2 extra damage, which it will make up in the like
this one.
It was very hard.
Sacks a backup, which is synergistic with Death Rattle.
Yes, and so like draw a bonus card and like man, I have killed so many people with I will do math to almost kill you. A Death Rattle at the very end. My rivals say, "Oh, I'm fine," and then I will burn you as the new Beast Titan attack comes in. Unique rule activates, destroy it. Like it happens all the time, Like Death Rattle math is so hard.
Yeah, it is hard, and which is why I think it is very fun and cool. And I think if you want to be doing this in this format, there are very few characters that do it well. Beast Titan has to play a very specific package when it comes to the Titan backups to do it this way. There are other characters, one of which we'll talk about afterwards.
Next.
But like Jester can even do this kind of thing right now. Yeah. And she even gets access to like the random ass fire attune backups like Grisha's.
Yes.
Which is the same idea, right? You have life and fire, so you get to play Grisha's plus Beast Titan attacks to just tutor the shit from your discard pile. You're synergizing with your Death Rattles. It's just like there's a few select characters that do this package very well. And surprisingly, even today, the deck played pretty well against Violent Animus Shot, and that would be like the scariest thing you're afraid of. But because of you're allowed to like snap build them in as Beast Titan, even if they don't stay in your stage, you can find a way to get one back. Yeah, you get to find a way to get one back in the middle of the turn. And in most characters, there's only ever going to be 4 Violent Animus Shots. So just pray they don't snipe your good ones.
Most characters. Yeah.
Most characters, yeah.
Anything that you think is missing? I'm like, I could sit here and I could talk about this list over and over again, and like the reasons of why. I would just love your input.
Oh, geez. I mean, I'm probably not like it performed quite well today, but
Yeah.
like I'm probably not a big fan of the main boarded League of Villains. But I guess having some form of cancellation probably feels fine. But like I have to think about the times where you make the decision of like, do I build this asset maybe probably on a 5 versus this backup that's going to draw me a card when it enters my stage. Whereas the League of Villains has the better text on it, but the backup is what's helping your game plan. And more often than not, I feel like you would always opt for the building the backup. So to me, it just feels like unless you're hardcore already winning that game, building that it's a win more asset. You know what I'm saying? It's a win more asset, and this character already wants to see the pieces that really matter. But I mean, you've been working on this longer than I have, but your
Am I
your
crazy?
backup count. What?
I put this in to fight Nick Reagan.
Okay,
Does this
that
work?
doesn't work. No.
Because the enhance is
Well,
just
hold
out
on.
of nowhere. Because Nick doesn't play the
No, no. So
enhance.
Nick doesn't play the enhance. You do play the enhance on the attack that's removed. Yeah, so
that was
you can do it.
This was the
Yeah.
point. It was literally in there for I opened this. You don't get to wax me with true 100% on turn 2 or turn 3 or whatever. This just cancels the
should
one
work
thing that Nick
against that.
Reagan stops.
Which, if you're using it specifically against the aggro decks, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I guess my concern then is, are you still going to feel comfortable about playing this asset on turn 1 or turn 2?
With my mostly
Just for that?
check deck, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm playing on 4s most of the time, anyways. But I think this and Desperate Struggle being in the main board to like try and stop that turn 2 aggression to let me get my feet underneath me and then continue, I think has been good. Same thing with a Singular Knots Flask, just a little bit more DR, stretch up my life total just a little bit further.
It's crazy, but like it. I know, like, it's in here, and I know you like the card, and I know that it's good. I'm not saying that it's not, but like, Desperate Plea did absolute dick shit all for you today at all, like in every match.
Yep.
Desperate Plea did absolutely nothing.
Yes.
So like, I wonder if it's like, aside from you being able to build your backups and drawing a card, obviously, is really really cool with your Titans. But more often than not, you had so many cards in your hand, you're like, I'm just gonna play them anyway. So it's like, could that just be a better one diff or any difficulty slot maybe? Desperate Plea.
Desperate Plea.
Desperate Plea was the shittiest foundation in your deck today.
Yeah, I just feel like I didn't see it. Like being able to.
No, you did. You did, and it just didn't matter because you played them all out anyway.
Sure. I think this card's really good
Like, that was no thing.
To block and then build on the random ones that you redraw off of beast. But I think that's fair.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, that's really. But more often than not, you were just slamming them from your hand to draw the card already to have in your hand.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, maybe I'll block with the cards I draw from Beast Titan to build down with Desperate Plea. And then it just never happened anyway.
Never happened.
Or your board was tapped or whatever.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's fair criticism.
Other than that, it's just like, and like, I'm only saying that, again, the card is great, but like, did your deck actually need it? Probably not.
Nah.
Obviously, I wish there was more Harness and Deaths in here, but I think you only playing one is good for your check math. I would maybe side more of them. I don't know if you have them already down there, but
when that card gets Sweeping Daggers, it is
sure.
And my low blocks are not incredible, and like I don't want to block with a low. Sorry, if it touches me, I might just explode. Like
sure.
Like I'm down for you to never get rid of Sweeping Dagger, or never get rid of Harness and Death on Sweeping Daggers. It just sucks. Like as soon as I see a Sweeping Dagger deck, it instantly comes out. It's a liability.
But like, I mean, that same idea to me then is like, you better also dodge all the Harness and Death decks.
Yeah.
Because you're not playing it at a higher capacity, and they are.
Yeah. 100%,
right.
100%.
And again, when we get to the deck I played today, I wish I was playing the card, but I stole the deck from somebody else, and I didn't want to do it. So like,
we'll move on. I could sit here and talk too much about Beast Titan. But we will look here at Elder Togoro. Hit me with the pitch, man. What's going on with this Elder list?
Yeah, I mean, so there are a non-zero amount of people that are trying to do the same death rattle kill condition thing, but instead trying to do it with a combo deck. And the combo is Grovekeeper's Authority, says spin a momentum, or Blitzspeed, spin a momentum, build all party backups from your discard pile and remove them at the end of the turn. Well, The idea is all of those party backups from Critical Role all have the unique keyword on them. So the unique ruling in the game, for the same reason that it works with your shifted Titans with unique, when they leave, you not just draw a card, but you trigger death rattles. It is destroying them. So the idea is you fill your discard pile, which is why all of these party backups are 4-ofs. You fill your discard pile with all these things. You snap a momentum with dual needle lunge or whatever, and you play Grovekeeper's Authority, and your Eldritch Aggro, so you can play it from your discard pile. And for every death rattle in your stage, depending on what point in the game you are on, you burn your opponent for non-interactable damage that can kill them.
Yeah.
So I pulled it off one game today, and let's say in the perfect world, Tam reset my attacks or did whatever. I did uninteractable 34 burn to him, and his character had 33 life.
Yep.
So, and I just didn't have to push any other buttons. Because I did burn 17, like
very,
or whatever
very
it
cool.
was.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. It's a very cool deck. It is a combo deck, hence why there's only 11 attacks. I do prefer the life version because you do get to play things like Hunter's Ally, and Hunter's Allies build in allies like Wild Wild Pussycats to help get your discard pile ready, while also building in extra copies of these backups. And it's just like an extra proc for the death rattles when you build one that you already have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can go attack, like you can go Hunter's Ally if you already have a Sean, build in another Sean, burn you for X amount of death rattles I have, play another Hunter's Ally, burn you again after enhancing with the Sean to get +2 to the check to play the attack, and then you use the Sean again, and you go, okay, now I'll play the Grovekeeper's Authorities to get you further into range, and that's why I like them. And at the same time, your opponent has to block them perfectly, because the more life that they lose means the closer they get into range.
Yeah.
Replicator Enthusiast is obviously meant to build in death rattles, but of course the thing that you can notice is I played Eldritch Aggro deck today, and Immortal Shapeshifter is banned, so I'm still doing the health gain stuff of the Best Buddies Brief Respite Recuperation Time because it is still very, very good in this character. And basically, instead of playing Immortal Shapeshifter, we're basically playing Healing Spell. And I would tell you that I thought this card was going to be pretty bad, but it's just repeatable life gain. And so in the world where your opponent attacks into you, you can save them for defense, and then also on offense, you gain the life back and your recuperation times to give damage as well. So like, and for a commit cost, it's actually not that bad.
This character is so good on defense that like when you double healing spell and then swap their thing and then give them more minus, like, and then you block and you're like, I actually just gained 4 for kind of free. That is 4 more than you have to tear through at the low cost of you committing a card, and you're just you can blow it up with Best Buddies on the next one or whatever, right? Like this card did do way more annoying work in this deck than I was thinking as well.
It's kind of funny too, because like genuinely, like you could play a similar attack lineup that you're doing in your Beast Titan deck in this Elder list, and the difference being is my character does annoying stat shit.
Yeah.
And instead of building down my Beast Titans, I get to grab one every turn. And instead, you're playing cards like Desperate Struggle to have defensive 3-diffs, and my character doesn't draw as much as Beast Titan does, so I have to play things like Meeting Hanj. Right. And Meeting Hanj is broken, don't get me wrong. Yes. It's discard 2, as long as one of them's a backup, draw 3.
Yeah.
But the characters and the decks do play similarly. This one's more combo-oriented. Versus yours plays real universe as well. But I will say the biggest thing here that I was missing is like 11 attacks was cute, but like I think Harness and Death just needs to be in the deck if you're already playing 20 backups. It just needs to be an extra threat. Because the deck is also good at generating momentum because you need the momentum for Grovekeepers, which means they typically have Echo, and your opponent has to play 2 of them, and you can grab it from your discard pile.
Yes.
So I think there is,
and it
probably
like
heals
you every time that it triggers. Like it's like there's so much, and every time a death rattle triggers, it burns,
it heals you.
It heals you, and like
and it heals you. So recuperation time triggers.
Correct.
Like to me, playing this deck today was just like I stole somebody else's list that was doing this thing, and I was like, I'm not gonna go take Sam Tate's or Christopher Bromley's deck that's doing the same thing. There are other people out there doing the Grovekeeper thing. They are well refined. I wasn't gonna sit here and lock you in a combo deck dome with Eldritch Aggro, especially after Combined Firepower and Immortal Shapeshifter getting hit. So I just wanted to do this thing. It was funny that both of the backup decks got paired into each other.
Thank
The
goodness you
idea
didn't
is,
have the death, the
yeah,
Hunters
yeah.
of Death.
The idea though is here. I did showcase it on stream. I did pull it off. The character El Toguro is just good enough to play good defense to get there and do something like this. It needs revision. It needs tuning.
Yeah.
This is very much a version 0, version 1 of what the deck is doing. I think people are trying to perfect this, and I'm very interested to see what those versions look like. And I would put them in a top contender for top cuts.
Yes. Oh, totally. 100%.
For the same reason why I think your Beast Tide deck is pretty cool. So
let's look at Reiner, another list that I have been working on quite a bit. So the idea here is that I am obsessed with Jarrett plus emerging threats. This idea.
yeah.
And I think the best way to do that is if you block my Deception Dagger or my Unfazed, I just murder you for it. If I get both of these pieces down and you block at all, Unfazed or Deception Dagger, I'm going to stun you out. I'm going to kill you. I have been on a lot of different characters with this. I mean, we saw last week I did Toga doing it. I have tried it as Godzilla. I've tried it as Toga. I have tried it now as Reiner, and I like Reiner the best because Reiner on his backside wants to have Jarrett in the stage, right? Wants to have Jarrett, wants to have Sean, wants to have Grisha. Still gets to play things like imagine you block my defeating the Colossus Titan and I Jarrett and play it again.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy.
Which
and
even also still helps you flip over if you are at a low enough. You can go like lose.
Correct.
You can go lose 5, lose 5.
Yes.
And you're like, oh,
yeah.
I'm now I'm on the backside.
Yeah,
just like
slam them. Like it's so cool. Having things like Inventor's Creation, being able to echo the Unfazed, I think is like the coolest thing that like these two cards tactically work together to do. It's so neat in a character that gives the damage that this character does, right? It's not as good in Godzilla because it's not a 5 diff. It's not as good in Toga because the echoes don't get the extra damage. But Inventor's Creation on average is a 4 low for 6, 4 low for 7. And then there's another 4 low for 6, 4 low for 7 if I've got the momentum for it. I think the biggest hang up with this deck is if you don't have momentum, I don't think the deck actually does anything.
Yeah, I would say yours is pretty all in on that.
Yes.
And I would think that'd be my biggest criticism is I've also played this guy a lot, at least for work, obviously. And what you're doing is what I was already doing when AOT2 dropped, which is the like, hey, dude, you should be playing emerging threats. It gets you a backup. It builds a Grisha's, which is +1 hand size. Like, you should just be doing it. And I would say that with Jarrett, it's just as good, if not now better. But I don't think you need to be locked into weapons. You know, like I think there's some weapons here that you don't really need.
Sure.
I like Inventor's Creation. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting more and more off of this card the more and more I put it into decks. Even with things like Science Bros, it's just not really clicking with me anymore. Like unless you're playing the deck on order with like Patchwork Baby and this,
sure,
I get it. But like
I get it. I get it with Deception. Right?
Yeah, echoing. Yeah, but it doesn't gain the powerful, and it doesn't gain the EX. So like, and you gaining echo on your 4 low for 4 doesn't feel as good as just playing the echoed thing, right? Like playing the unfazed.
Totally.
So like, I think you're still like, hey man, you probably should still play Besiege because that card's fucked up. Like, you know, like it's like you don't need to play all the weapons in here, but you can just play enough of the good ones so that Jarrett works. And that just wants to be like the next premier backup that you want to build in next to Grisha's, right?
My biggest issue with this, truthfully, is I think it just needs to be a life deck that is trying to do this. I mean, we talked about it last week with Toga. I need to find a life chaos character that like actually wants to do this because in none of our games that we played tonight, I just didn't find Jarrett. It's like if part of this is just like, hey, you have to block my thing because of Jarrett, and I just don't find this thing, then like, what's the point, right? I just like didn't. This is such a key piece of the trifecta puzzle. I found plenty of emerging threats. They were easy to build. I couldn't build Jarrett's, and so like being able to slam them in with the Hunter's Ally, I think it's just going to be important to do it.
You also ran into the like, you already figured out the fact of how this deck specifically, because of the Echo game plan, wants to find momentum as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And when I kept you off of momentum, it struggled.
100%.
And then also, Titan's Pursuit doesn't work well when your opponent plays stuff like Runaway.
Yeah.
Vice versa, Runaway is pretty good when you have emerging threats on your board and you can put a
Yeah.
backup on top of your discard pile. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as getting the momentum that you wanted. Or if you like ran into heavy DR, like would it struggle? It's just like one of those things of like you're not playing the what is it? You're not playing the determined advances, right? So like you can't just get it when you want it, you know? You're not playing the other snap momentum piece. You're not playing like strategic meeting, you know, like the 3-diff that just says, hey, here's a momentum.
Yeah.
You have to rely on what your opponent does around you, which means it takes a turn longer. And I think one of the benefits of this character is that if you build him correctly or you build him well, every single time he goes in on attacking you, you have no idea when the turn is going to end. And at any point, they could just keep slamming moves, and as soon as they cycle, you feel like it's over sometimes. I'm also on the other side. I know you don't play it, but I do like playing this character that wants to get the Yahtzee in your stage, you know, like the asset to back up the foundation, the character. So like I do like betraying Marco, and I know you don't, but
it is strictly a room thing, man. Like it's just extra stats, and I'm like, man, my character does not need more stats. I feel like I'm doing the stats thing.
Yeah,
I just
but there's also just a big thing where I think characters or decks that require momentum to play the game to do a thing, unless the character themselves is giving them that resource, like Mitchell Chimino, those decks typically don't do well in competitive environments because there's just enough random stuff out in the field, whether they VME block all of your stuff or they play absorbed energy strike and they keep you off of your momentum every single time you want to do it. Those decks just fail to work. And I think characters like even Godzilla struggle against like that stuff too.
Yeah.
So when you build a deck that works around it, you kind of can just get shut down and it just feels really rough.
Speaking of a character that gives it themselves momentum, let's talk about Sasha Blouse, huh?
Yeah, this is shout outs to Frank on Team MGLA. He played. I had the pleasure of commentating him playing Sasha Blouse Food Fanatic with Ultimate Combination, doing basically this thing, but he got to play with all the broken zero diffs in his deck that Chaos still had before rotation. And essentially, I think I basically stole an updated version of the list based off of what he thinks is what this deck looks like post Critical Role. And obviously there's like a couple of new things in here, like a couple aerial goblin bolts in here. We've added things like illuminating spell because you have the life symbol. Here's a tuned low block that commits for minus speed, and after you commit for minus speed, if you still have Sasha up, you get to eat it up and draw a card. So it's like your one diffs that commit for minus speed feel pretty good in Sasha, and I hate those cards, but they feel good here. And so obviously the idea is you have a bunch of foundations that shove themselves into momentum, helping Tomura, hiding in plain sight, and then the random momentum that you get from reflecting on choices and things like Seafood Slugger and Rapid Speed Slash. More often than not, they're going to be foundations, so they directly synergize with Ultimate Combination and Sasha, who shoves in foundations also from your stage. In case you don't have an asset, right? So it just generates a ton of momentum. Your character turns into plus speed or plus damage when you need it to. So cards like Ultimate Combination that have powerful, Sasha compensates it with extra speed, or if you needed to go a little over the top, you give it even more damage that scales through your momentum before you dump for powerful. And then you use things like VME or their own enhances to give them a bunch of speed. And the deck is a ton of fun. It plays very meaningful small defense. Runaways plus vertical maneuvering equipment in a character that generates momentum is good enough. It's just good enough.
I think the only thing that I see missing out of this list, truthfully, is there were times with the reflecting on choices that attacks got tossed in, and it felt bad playing the ultimate combinations if they weren't going to win the game, even if they were very good. I almost wanted like maybe a singular copy of something like a Dark Tournament Looms to go pick that ultimate combination or some sort of attack in like back up. It could exist in the sideboard maybe, right? Like that's totally fair. But it felt like 15 attacks if my opponent had any amount of interaction or reset felt like not enough with my character. It felt so hard to like push through this the stats. Because Sasha is only one-sided
Yeah,
stats, right?
yeah, she gets to choose on the one-sided stats, which is why things like the ultimate combinations have to be there, because it has a small enhance for speed that synergizes with the mechanic, the combo, right?
Yeah.
And then also has powerful 4 on it, which is a crazy number. I don't disagree with you, but luckily when you turbo enough momentum, even once you hit the like 4 momentum, 5 momentum breakpoint, turning these bad cards in your hand that you do not need anymore for +4 or +5 speed,
Yeah.
or +4 or +5 damage is really good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so, and that's without even playing things that synergize with when discarded or whatever. I don't disagree with you. Reflecting on choices is a win more card.
Yeah.
It's cool because it's not unique. So the more of these you get, the crazier the deck gets. But I would agree with you that maybe there's a world where like we play a different foundation that is like Surveyor-esque. You know, that's an old card probably for people that are old. There's the Shishi Wakamaru one that you could easily
Yeah.
play,
Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
2/5
I
commit
love
flip
that
or
answer.
whatever.
Love that
Yeah,
answer. That'd be
so
so
like
dope.
you could easily play that Surveyor-esque kind of like move or a foundation to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a totally fine choice. I think there's a ton of room to do this thing. And this was the same note I gave last season on the grind. And I still will say it's true for Chaos right now, although the competitive format based off of Denver will convince you otherwise, that the Chaos symbol is dead and not doing well. There's so many different things to do with the Chaos symbol. This is just one of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
deck that doesn't play Determinate Advance.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I think I said it inside of the match. All I want to do is just do ultimate combination with Mitchell. Like, I think
Yes, you did,
that
yeah.
like, hey, this is a 5 high for 7 powerful 5 now, which means I need to have less momentum. And hey, Mitchell's a character that says I'm gonna put this ultimate combination in my momentum, and on the turn that I want to kill you, I'm gonna pick it back up, which like solves my issue of I didn't find it. Mitchell's just gonna tuck it away, and then I'm good. And you still
I
have to
think
do
there's a real world.
all of this stuff.
I think there's a real world where you can do that. My thing with Mitchell is like Mitchell is very volatile in the early game.
Yeah.
And maybe you can fix that because Mitchell has the air symbol. That's correct. No.
No.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Good order.
Chaos. Good order. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I thought he had air. Yeah. Mitchell in the same boat is like just really reliant on finding vertical maneuvering equipment, and like to a degree, maybe this deck is too. But like, the defensive draw felt like it was just enough because it allowed you to feel like you were allowed to overcommit on the builds.
Yeah.
Because at any point, if your opponent chooses to attack in you, you're like, okay, well, I have at least one guaranteed.
Sure.
And with cards like Fearsome, you turn them online immediately, right? So,
yeah.
I don't disagree with you. So does Mitchell. He could easily do it. I think that character's just like a little scary to play in aggro formats, whereas this one is an aggro deck.
Yeah.
So it can just compete with them instead of just like folding to them. Whereas Mitchell, I think, needs a little bit of time to get off the ground. But you're not wrong. Sure. He could easily do the same game plan.
We'll move on. We'll move on to now King Ghidorah. I like this King Ghidorah list. I wanted to play a King Ghidorah list that doesn't play that shitty Hiei redraw card, the 4 diff. I don't like the 4 mid for 4.
Oh,
lose
Sword of
one
Darkness
game.
Flame or whatever.
Yeah. I think the card sucks. I don't like the 2 check. I think that you can do the exact same thing that you want to do with the Dragon of the Darkness Flame. I'm gonna kill you with a big powerful move, but just do it as a Throat Slitter, Tri-Gravity Beam, Violent Animus, Urban's Final Charge deck. And just like, hey, the singular monster 0 that we have in here, Disarming Glance so that on the turn that I want to kill you, on the attack that I want to kill you, I've emptied your hand. You don't get to redraw. Sorry. Yeah, it is. I think that this character being able to repeat play Ripper Arrives, Violent Animus, Tri-Gravity Beam, Urban's Final Charge, Sweeping Daggers. Just hey, if you got a good ass move in your discard pile, if I want it, I'm gonna take it from you. And then just like constantly play these really good cards. If you put your hand down, you put your defenses down against Ghidorah at all, you're going to explode. And I think that this version of the list exacerbates that incredibly because of the amount of hand control that this character is allowed to have on every single attacking turn. If I have two attacks, they probably discarded a couple cards. You played a couple cards, they discard a couple cards, and I'm gonna kill you. I'm going to kill you with an Orm's Final Charge. It's just going to happen. Combine that with combined fire powers and all of that. Like this deck feels really, really, really mean.
I think the biggest feeling I had when I played it was I just felt like we were on the wrong symbol. And I just don't, and it's because I don't think I don't get to have my cake and eat it too, but I think this deck specifically felt better at killing people, but I think you can just take this idea with how many of these attacks have a tune on them, and you can do the same thing still on the evil symbol.
Sure.
And the only reason I say that is you basically give up Sweeping Daggers and Aerial Goblin Bolt, but I really, really missed True 100% Unleashed. I really missed it. And so, like, vice versa, you could play this deck on death, and you would gain Sweeping Daggers back, but you would lose Violent Animus Shot. And so, depending on how all in you are on which of those cards, because some of them are attuned and some of them are not, but, like, Irwin's Final Charge gets to be in the deck no matter what, but, like, that really important block trick of True 100% I was really missing in this deck. And, like, we could sit here and go back and forth 100% on it. Well, if you go to death, you don't get Barrier Shield. I said, but if you go on evil, you do. You know, but then you don't get Sweeping Daggers. And I think Sweeping Daggers was the weakest attack in this deck.
100%. I think Sweeping Daggers. I wanted to play Sweeping Daggers. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to sit here because originally, like, this list started as a, I have this like thing in my brain where I think King Ghidorah is the best mill deck right now because of Sweeping Daggers and because of the 2/4/3 low block that says enhance once per turn if your attack deals damage, selectively remove a card out of the discard pile.
Yeah, the thief one.
Yeah, that's not a thief enhance, but it has a thief, right? Card. He gets to go 2 of those out of your discard pile. And so that started with 4 Sweeping Daggers, 4 of that in the deck. And then I found Throat Slitter and I went, "Oh wait. Why would I mill you when I can just kill you?"
Throat Slitter's the best. By the way, for everyone at home, Throat Slitter's the best Critical Role limited attack, and it's not close.
I think this card at a 2 of is like the sickest Void 2 of all time. Just opening with Throat Slitter as a 5 mid for 5 is like insane. It's just like it limits the options that you have. It stops your sculpt, and it has powerful to kill you with. Like this card is so crazy. If you can figure out how to give any amount of speed, like I don't know, 4xing Rifle Arm, and like slam stats.
You're already
on this
doing
thing,
unmatched quickness, right?
You just killed them with this card, man. Like this card is so undervalued. I feel.
And with the promo ones,
and they're so sick. They're so sick.
I don't disagree with you. I think the idea what I'm really getting here is that, hey, there's a real Void discard deck that you can play.
Yes.
And like this is what it looks like. This is what it's close to. King Ghidorah is just good at playing one of those moves every single turn. But like this same game plan, I'll be honest with you, I like in characters like Yasha, regardless of how you feel towards Yasha. Sure. But like
we'll get there eventually. Week 8, Yasha's gonna go crazy.
But like to me, like Yasha plays this package very well because Yasha eventually, if you play good UniVersus, puts a fuckload of damage on stuff. So like these cards that are threatening, like, hey, you have to block this, or you're going to discard a card or discard a card, right? Like with Violent Animus Shots, and they're for a fuckload. So as soon as Ripper arrives, hey, pitch a card. Hey, this is gonna also get fucked up amounts of damage. Do something about it.
I didn't even talk about the Ripper Arrive. I forgot the Ripper Arrive exists. This doesn't have Kenny on it. This has Ghidorah. How easy is it for this character to give +1 speed and +1 damage? Like it's so simple. I do not care about the card. I will discard this card and then Attitude Selector it back into my hand. You'll discard a card for real. And then I'm going to say that my Animus Shot is going to get an extra 2/2. And then it's going to wear the extra step. My Unmatched Quickness and my Relentless Challenger didn't go anywhere. So it's 3/3/4/4. Oh, on top of that, I'm going to combine like this entire package is just so fucked up and mean. I'm excited. I'm gonna say this and don't clip it. I enjoyed playing this Ghidorah list. I actually enjoy when I actually had a real ass game plan of here's how I'm going to kill you. I'm going to rip your entire hand.
Yeah.
You're going to miss. I have a dedicated game plan instead of just dirtling around and hoping it falls in my lap. No.
Well,
This list wants
and
to
that's
kill you.
and that's the difference, right? Because we even saw, like, I mean, obviously, Ben Lambright, I'm sure, has a void Ghidorah list that has ready to go and primed, and he
Yeah.
loves the 60 card Ghidorah lists. And if there's any void Ghidorah player that actually wants to kill their opponent, it is Ben Lambright. Granted, that was with things like, playing Rejuvenating Smash to draw more cards, playing
True 100.
Ice Sword
Or no,
Execution
yeah.
to deal with their board.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
a different approach on how to win a game, and it does it well because Tri-Gravity Beam is fucked up, and it's his card, right? So it's like, you know it's coming. It's gonna be the third move, and when it comes with cards like Violent Animus Shot and Ripper Arrives before it, you're like, well, shit, I didn't hold enough cards.
I'll say this, and then we can move on to Godzilla. If I had 3 more weeks, you could see me playing King Ghidorah at the case tournament. Because I think that evil is the way to go with this idea. Just like have the good evil stuff. True. I'll discard your whole hand and play True 100%, and it's just like Irwin's final charge.
And you
It's
still
the
get to
same
play that
thing.
one.
And you still get to play that one. Yeah. I just don't know exactly. I'd want to play and work a little bit more rather than the case tournament happening tomorrow at time of recording.
Yeah,
right.
But I agree with you, and like the reason, because we saw it in Denver, Ghidorah was still one of the most highest represented character at Denver, because North American players love this character, and it's really good in a format when people are playing aggro decks, because it says no matter what you have to hit me with 3.
Yeah,
and that's enough.
And they gotta be 3
when you have cards
damage moves, right?
Yeah, like through Barrier Shields, through Genkai's Guidances. I would recommend probably through True 100%, just not on the symbol.
Yeah.
You're playing things like Duuthvar to make them fucked up. You have Cape of No Return in the deck, so it's like,
yeah.
And you still get to do your aggro thing. So like, I don't disagree with you. He's very good. He's on everybody's top list of strongest characters in the game. You're allowed to do a discard package now.
Totally. We'll talk about Godzilla. I love the name of this in RAR XD.
Yeah, he's a dinosaur.
Yeah,
or whatever.
or whatever. Big lizard.
Yeah, this is 10th place Iari Melkor's list from Denver.
Yeah.
I just took it. I just stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing different things that I know you had an Earth Ghidorah all mono Lowe's deck for
Anna Margaret.
For Anna Margaret.
Yep.
And I realized too when I stole this list, I was like, oh, I think I took Iari's list before he put things like Earthbreaker in it. So I just played with a shitty list by accident.
Yeah.
But the idea is the days of Chaos Godzilla are over. It is time to go to Earth, because Earth plays lows, and we have to make people respect low zone attacks. And this guy does, because he gives 3 damage to them all.
100%.
And cards like Piercing Thorn Lances shove the cards into your momentum to then immediately use with Godzilla if you would like. Obviously, Iari was also playing 2 of the Titan Cliff to mix up on them, because it does say discard 3 non-attack cards, maybe find more, which is really good in a City Rampage deck. So I understand why you want to do that. Other than that, there's not much really else to say about this list. It's good. It's Godzilla. I'll be honest with you, Tam. I think this character, although he can high roll you, isn't as good as he was in past formats. I felt it today. Obviously, he get in against Ghidorah, which is kind of hit or miss, but like, he's just so reliant. He's a 6-hander that if you just don't draw the attack cards, he's rough. Like, he's just rough. And then you sit here and you're like, well, do I press the first form button? Because I sat here on 3 separate occasions staring at my board and staring at your board as Ghidorah, and I was like, I feel like I should reset the board, and then if you just have the nuts, I'm fucked. Like nuts as in you build 6, and I go, okay, well, I'm fucked. Like, and then I'd be in the same state I was already in, but I'm just delaying the inevitable, so I just didn't push the button.
I do think the coolest thing that exists in this list is just Living Spikes. I think Living Spikes
it's
is
funny
so cool.
Iari likes it because the way that he described it is we're playing everything that can draw the card off of top of the deck, right? So we're playing long range support. We're playing fearsome transformation. We're playing horrifying realization. We're playing ferocious attacker. He goes, if I need to draw a card, I'm gonna find a way to do it. Living Spikes puts an attack on top of your deck. So yeah.
It's super cool. 2 mid-block breaker.
And
it's a 6 low for 9. Like this card was super neato at a 2 of. I don't think it needs to be any
People are
more than that.
playing Determine, and instead of getting a momentum, it hopefully guarantees that you get an attack, right?
Yeah.
So, which is good in the City Rampage deck, that one of your 6 cards for the turn is City Rampage, right? So,
Agreed. Yeah. All in all, I think this is super neat. I can't think of really anything that we're missing when it comes to like the attack package. I do love the 4 heat ray. I think it's so sick.
it's good. It kills people.
With this character, I mean, it might just be what I'm looking at. I'm not a 4x CD Rampager for Godzilla. I'm a 2x CD Rampager, but I guess like I was also looking at like a chaos idea. So like 2 CD Rampage, 2 Runaways, and you don't get that in this deck. You have to
Honestly,
sacrifice it for
it's
Referee
I'm,
Jury.
I'm gonna really say a hot take.
Yeah.
I think I'm off Black Abyss, man.
Really?
I know how good it is with Piercing Thorn Lances that you can like play one and then immediately shove it over.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, if I have a Black Abyss in my hand and I have a Smashing Stomp, I'm playing Smashing Stomp 9 times out of 10 over it.
I hear you. I think we were playing both. And I think that
I
might
get it,
just
but
be
like,
the point, right? Like we go smashing
but I
into
think we
Black
need
Abyss or
room
vice
for
versa.
Earth. Yeah, I think we need room for Earthbreaker though. Is the
Sure.
problem?
Yeah.
And like,
Extra stun.
I like the Titan Cliffs. I think Living Spikes could like probably be a one of instead. But like, if you're not playing for Black Abyss, you probably shouldn't play Black Abyss. And I really would rather cut Black Abyss over Heat Rays, Piercing Thorn Lances, and Smashing Stomps.
Sure. That's fair. That's super fair.
But maybe that's the world. Maybe you just play 3 Earthbreakers, and you cut the 2 Titan Cliffs and 1 Living Spikes. Maybe, I don't know. Not my deck. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I gave it a shot. I'm probably a Chaos gamer over Earth, but that's just me.
No. The coolest Earth Godzilla list is no longer playable as Set 2 has rotated because I forgot that you could. How It's Your Impact Cyclone was a 5 diff. And I think destroy and like slam a bunch of momentum, get a bunch of your.
And it does get one
sick.
for free, right, on the combo with a Fury.
Yeah. And so like,
you know what else is a Fury? Determined Advance.
Yeah. But anywho, that is it for this week's top 8. Make sure if you didn't get to go check out the matches, go find them over on YouTube. They'll be out live, or you can catch them on the VOD over on Twitch. But with that, end of the week, it is draft time. Drafting for week 4. As we zoom in just a smidge, I'll do this now. Let's take. Oh, I should do presentation mode. Holy cow, this looks so much nicer. Okay, the characters that I played were this one, and this one. The characters that you played were this one, and this one. From here, we get to throw a couple fish back. I am going to throw back Hunch and Mirko.
Your 2 combined firepower deck.
What would you like to throw back, Barrett?
I'll throw back Irwin.
Oh, interesting.
And I actually think I have a real choice here.
I think both your characters are very good.
Yeah, I think I'm probably opting to put Jean back because I still am trying to like play a combo deck every week. So I'm probably still gonna have Midoriya here as a option that you have to. You ready? Ghidorah's off the table now.
I have to figure it out, man.
What the fuck are you gonna do now, Bucko?
Good point.
You better draft. You better draft Toru too. You fuck.
Yikes!
Okay,
Toru too be very funny. So you for everybody at home, spoilers. You lost this week, so I'll give you the choice. You want first pick or first last, or you want 2 in a row?
I will. Man, I'll be honest. I'm a little out of touch with the format after the ban and errata list. I have an idea of like what people are still playing, but I will take first pick.
First pick it is.
I'm feeling with the decks that did get touched.
Yeah.
Decks that were affected by the ban and errata list. We're going to hope that some aggro decks are a little more in line, specifically like the casino decks.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the DR feels a little less powerful.
Sure.
Because of Immortal getting hit with recuperation time. So I think I'm going to go and grab Crystal Lens. Because I think she probably feels a lot better when you don't have to run out of those decks.
I think that's super fair. I get to have my 2 picks. And I am going to pick Byakuo strictly under the guise of I think this character has gotten away from us when it comes to maybe if he's even on the list. Has gotten away from us when it comes to how good he is, and like the fact that he's making it all the way to week 4, I think is like a little surprising, especially with all the Earth stuff that he got from Critical Role. And then I'm going to trust my teammate, Justin Birch, and I'm going to pick actually Smiling Titan. I think Smiling Titan is super neat, and every time that I've watched Justin play it, I kind of long for the days. And so like I miss playing this character. Justin's making it look super awesome. And so I might like take his list and do some molding with it and see what's up.
What one of them was on a winning in at Denver.
Correct.
Someone was already playing it.
Which put him back on it, and then he keeps playing it into a bunch of stuff and goes, I don't know why I ever stopped. This character is really good.
All right, scroll down for me.
Oh, we're scrolling. A little Sung Jin Woo action, or
I was looking up. No. We gotta get a little. Freaky deaky.
Freaky deakies.
I'm gonna pick something because I think. Spoiler alert from my job.
Mm-hmm.
I have found my favorite combination of symbols on a character.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna pick one of my picks because for that sole reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that is I'm gonna pick Paul Phoenix.
Paul Phoenix. You're an all fire order gamer?
Specifically, fire and order together rustle my jimmies.
Yeah.
I think that shit is so fun. And I hope I will show you some of the explosivity that symbol can do.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
My second pick is going to probably be something I'm a little more comfortable with, which is I mean, hell, we talked about it. I'm going to pick another character that I think can do something that we talked about today. I'm going to pick Jin.
Yeah. Good pick. Where's he at?
He's next to Tendi, and there's a toga in the middle. Yeah.
I literally was on him. Very funny.
Pick Jin.
Okay. So I've got 4 more. So 2 and then 2. And they have to be able to do something into what's his face? Into Midoriya. If they can't beat Midoriya, they just shouldn't exist. I'm going to put you on the docket for next time. If they can't beat Midoriya, they shouldn't exist. Okay, so I got my 4. Yikes.
Nice.
What do we do? I
can't wait for you to draft Toru too.
I refuse to. I'm not gonna do it.
Alright, okay. Kurama can do it.
I am actually thinking Kurama. Because I think
crazy.
Kurama can do it.
You're crazy.
I have played against a very aggressive Kurama list, and it was very fun. I'll do it.
Wow.
I'll pick
I
Kurama.
baited you into picking Kurama.
I think Kurama's super neat.
There's no way you're gonna put in the work to build that deck.
It's already done.
You're just gonna mess with Jeremy Ray.
Steal it. It's crazy that characters like Mount Lady 3 have or Mount Lady 2 have just been outclassed. That character used to just kill people. That character
week 8, bud. Week 8.
Yeah.
Come back week 8.
Yeah. I've got so many week 8 picks that I want.
Your week 8 roster is gonna be stacked,
it's
dude.
Gonna be so sick. It's gonna be the most fun we've ever had. Because like the other, so there's two ways to like look at the way that you have to do it. It's either
kill the shit out of me,
kill the shit out of him, or find ways to like fight him. And
you're gonna have
think,
answers to the answers.
Yeah, and these characters all had answers to the answers. I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're holding on to them.
Yeah. This is a tough one. Let me go Pumat Soul.
That's well, okay.
Yeah.
I think he's good.
I
don't think anyone's put in the work.
I think he is good. And I think under Chaos I can run 4 cape, which might be enough to if I can
You can snap build
get
him
it
in.
out of there.
Scroll down for me.
Of course.
I was staring at this one, and I'm glad you didn't pick it, although I don't know why you would, so it's fine. That wasn't like a diss on you or anything.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on.
Hey
Scroll down,
I
scroll down.
played Ghidorah last this week.
Scroll down. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay. I want to build an easy deck, and it also is still something that I think people have forgotten about. I'm going to pick up Ryukyu 1.
I'm so mad. I was saving this for my last round pick.
Out of your fucking mind, dude. I'm picking that shit up.
Oh man. I was literally gonna pick it up right next. Oh.
Nah. That character's broken.
The character's very good. Still super good.
But I need another one before you do your last 2 picks.
Yeah.
Something that feels like a steal. I need something that feels like I'm taking something from you. Not just something that feels like I'm taking it from you.
To hurt me psychologically.
Not hurt you. Go back up. Who are your characters? Okay. All right. I don't feel confident about this pick, but I'm going to pick it anyway.
Okay.
I think I'm going to pick Bakugo 4.
Bakugo 4 is a good steal pick. Bakugo 4.
I was afraid of you grabbing it because I think that shit's annoying.
Yeah. Bakugo 4 is on my short list next format because of the 2/4 after my move hits you, grab a 4 diff out of my discard pile. Shit picks up rabble rousing.
Rabble rousing. Yeah,
like all of his good attacks, except for the 2 check, are all 4 divs. You're like, which one's supposed to kill you? This one.
No, it's just like obviously like the thing about Bakugo is that he's very safe against damage reduction. I'm staring at Reiner 1 on your list, you know. Yeah. So like he's very good into that kind of stuff, and he's also just really good against like, hey, you played a 6-hander and you didn't draw enough cards in your turn. I'm just gonna fuck you, right? Like I'm just gonna turn you sideways. And although he lost risky encounter, obviously, like we talked about it, Irwin's final charge exists, and we just talked about the discard package. So like, just saying.
So I am scraping the bottom of the barrel.
We're on week 4.
Of things that I think can like fight Midoriya.
Oh sure,
yeah,
because I have to throw the week away, but
that list is very small.
Because I strategically didn't play it this week because I was afraid you were going to lock in a Ghidorah list, and I was right.
I just wanted to play Ghidorah, truthfully.
That's you're lying.
No, I wanted to test myself to play Ghidorah. I would have bet that you didn't play Midoriya.
I have a crazy last pick, and you're not ready for it. So pick your 2. And
you're... like this character a lot. I'm gonna pick Bionic Menace. And this is more for I like Bionic Menace, and I'd like to go see what he's got going on.
Hey, you ready? Fire Order character.
Fire Order character. We're gonna see what's up. And then from here, you know what? I'm just going full Josh mode. I'm gonna pick Karasu.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Who?
Karasu.
Who's playing this?
Josh. Josh on Team Final Round. This guy goes. Okay. This guy accidentally gives +4 damage to every move and says that Midoriya never gets to have more than 5 foundations.
You know what Cross is really bad at? Giving speed.
True.
You know what Midoriya says on the front side?
True. If you're on the front side, that means you're not OTKing me.
All right. This is my crazy pick right here. But I'm calling in a favor from a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm locking in Hiei.
I see.
Far left. Because someone's got a deck for me. It's already built and actually is pretty good at killing people.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. With that, that is the next week. I'll zoom in just a little bit so we get to see. Here's our top 8. I am forced to play Reiner or Bertolt Hoover.
The brothers.
Barrett is
Brothers.
forced to play Jester or Izuku Midoriya on the move. The rest, the other 3 characters are our own picks. With that, guys, make sure you check out next week to next Thursday, I believe, to see the top 8 go down live over on twitch.tv/TamCardwell and right here on YouTube. Or join. Yeah, that's it. You guys are already here. With that, thank you all for hanging out. I do greatly appreciate it.